Eating. Eating is a necessity. Everyone eats, but eating is also an act of pleasure. We are all eaten. The very first pleasure we experience in life enters through the mouth. However, feeding on another human being, not out of necessity, but out of pleasure, is a metaphorical device that has been used for centuries across culture, literature, and cinema. The philosopher Georges Bataille argued that eroticism is a search for the continuity of being. He claimed that we are beings without continuity. We are merely an isolated individual, an I. Eroticism, however, grants us continuity. It allows us to complete ourselves through the other. It is a desperate desire to shatter the boundaries of our own skin, to fuse with someone we love and desire, to break the rules and indulge in the forbidden. And what is the most radical way to break the physical boundaries of the body? To introduce the other inside yourself. Bones and All, directed by Luca Guadagnino, is a story about appetite. An appetite to be loved, to love and to be accepted by someone who won't be terrified when looking at what you truly are. The story begins with Marine, a 16-year-old girl trying to live a normal life. Yet, on a seemingly harmless night, an impulse takes hold of her, and she bites off a piece of her friend's finger. Upon discovering the scene, her father isn't even surprised. He simply repeats what they have done for years whenever this happens. They pack up everything and run away. When she turns 18, her father abandons her, leaving behind only a bit of money, her birth certificate, and a cassette tape in which he confesses that he can no longer protect her from herself or accompany her in her monstrosity. He also reveals the existence of her mother. Marine embarks on a road trip to find the mother she never knew, hoping to understand who she is and why she was born this way. Upon arriving at the psychiatry hospital, where her mother lives under a fake name, Marine discovers that her mother has no arms. In a desperate attempt to never devour anyone again, and consumed by hatred toward her own condition, her mother chose to eat her own arms. The mother represents the extreme end of self-rejection and isolation. Incapable of accepting the monstrosity dwelling inside her, she prefers to mutilate and punish herself. Marine reads the letter her mother left before being left armless.
The world of love wants no monsters in it, so let me help you out of it.
In that moment, the mother attempts to kill her daughter, to remove her from the world, and finally end her own life as well. As stated in the letter, the only reason she didn't commit suicide earlier was the hope that her daughter would visit her one day. She doesn't try to kill Marine out of hatred, but out of love. In her mind, death is the only way her daughter will ever be free from suffering. That is why she apologizes for everything she couldn't do for her and for what she can do. Kill her.
All I ever wanted in this world was love. I tried, believed, but we can't have it as we are.
Nobody chooses the heritage in their blood. Marine inherits this condition from her mother and Lee from his father. In Bones and All, cannibalism serves as a metaphor for many things, open to your interpretation. I interpreted Marine and her mother's relationship as an inherited trauma, much like addiction or a mental illness. For Marine and Lee, romance is far from conventional. Their love is built upon their most atrocious acts and the sharing of that heavy burden. The film shows us that loving someone isn't about admiring a flawless exterior. It's about looking at their most rotted parts and choosing to stay.
You don't think I'm a bad person?
All I think is that I love you.
In contrast, Jeffrey Dahmer is a real-life case. He ate his victims so they will become part of him and could never leave him. Similarly, the monster of Atizapan ingested his victims to possess them completely. These men did not love their victims. They did not eat them out of love, but out of obsession, control, and power. Anthropophagy in reality often stems from rejections, hatred, and deep negativity. Faced with the terror of being rejected or abandoned by an equal, the abuser destroys the other's autonomy, reducing them to objects and depersonalizing them. The fantasy of making the other part of oneself originates from a profound internal emptiness that they attempt to fill by destroying someone else's life. This is cannibalism as the ultimate expression of selfishness, hatred, and domination over another's body. Back in Bones and All, Sully is an elderly eater who tracks Marine by her scent. He has spent decades wandering the highways alone, keeping a long braid made from the hair of every person he has devoured. Sully attempts to force a bond with Marine, but when she rejects him to live with Lee, his friendly facade shatters. Sully stalks them for months until he invades their apartment, attempting to murder and devour Marine, while whispering that she belongs to him. The film concludes with a tragic scene, where Lee, mortally wounded from Sully's attack, begs Marine to eat him, bones and all. Julia Ducournau's Raw is a film about the awakening of sexual desire. Justine, a young vegetarian, is forced to eat raw meat during a university hazing ritual. This single act unleashes a repressed hunger for human flesh. Justine soon discovers that her older sister shares the exact same behavior. Both inherited this nature from their mother, which explains why their parents raised them under a strict vegetarian diet, to prevent them from yielding to their appetites. However, years of suppressing those desires cause them to unleash without control. At the end of the film, Justine's father shows her his own torso, covered in deep scars and bite marks, revealing that he has allowed his wife to devour him a little bit over the years out of love and containment. He tells Justine, "I hope you find someone who takes care of you the way I took care of your mother." Justine realizes that cannibalism isn't something that can be eradicated through moral rules, but a fundamental part of her identity. She accepts that her desires are part of who she is and learns to fulfill them without guilt. Vampirism, in many works, uses the ingestion of blood as an allegory for forbidden erotic desire and sensuality. In Interview with the Vampire, the bite is an erotic act, an exchange of fluids, vulnerability, and pleasure. The film frames this search for personal acceptance through two opposing stances toward the hunger. On one hand, Lestat represents guilt-free abstinence and the total integration of his condition. He feels no remorse for his appetite. To him, blood is art, pleasure, and life. He understands that this appetite is part of his being, accepts every side of himself, and satisfies his desire without shame. On the other hand, Luis represents the rejection of and resistance to his hunger. He tries to avoid giving in, feeding on rats and animals to maintain a human moral standard. Yet, his refusal to accept himself does not liberate him. It only prolongs his suffering, isolating him from humans and the vampires. Luis' tragedy mirrors what Justine discovers in Raw. Trying to eliminate or stifle instinct, appetite, desire, and need does not make someone more human. It merely amputates a part of who they are. Much like Marine's mother could literally amputate in her own arms to remove her condition. Sully, Lestat, and Justine all represent their acceptance of that indelible fragment of their identity, that part of themselves they cannot erase because it defines who they are.
want you to eat, I want you to feed.
Amidst all these allegories, there lies a crucial dimension: the desire to be loved, not to be the one who eats, but the one who is eaten. Here, the subject does not wish to be the perpetrator, but the victim. They desire to lose their individuality, erase the boundaries of their skin, and become part of their beloved. In the Japanese film In the Realm of the Senses, the passion between Kichizo and Sada escalates into an all-consuming erotic obsession. They isolate themselves for days solely to engage in sex that grows increasingly alarming, forming a dynamic of extreme submission and dangerous practices. Kichizo is neither forced nor victimized. He actively desires to be asphyxiated and destroyed by Sada during sex, begging her to keep going and not stop. For him, the only way to prevent their love from degrading over time is to allow Sada to claim his life entirely. By letting himself be suffocated and mutilated, Kichizo offers himself as a sacrifice, so his lover can possess him completely. Sada subsequently wanders through Tokyo for days, carrying her lover's severed member before her arrest. Just as Georges Bataille said, human beings finding eroticism a way to escape loneliness, to merge with another and to be loved. The ultimate definitive way to reach that state is to pass through the mouth of the beloved, ensuring they can never be separated.